what had happened as a result of colonialism is that the first thing that was taken out of our minds is the fact that we trade with other nations, because that was always done on our behalf by our colonial masters. It became so bad that we ended up thinking that Africa is only the land side, and yet Africa is a trading nation, is an oceanic trade that we have, where the bulk of our exports and imports are handled by these ships. If we take the inland waterways, we've got the largest volume of inland waterways anywhere in the world. 350,000 square kilometers of inland waterways. So even when you speak about landlocked countries, these are not landlocked countries. They have access to inland waterways. And I'm glad to see that Zambia and other countries, Zimbabwe, have taken the challenge to be part of the marriage which, in a normal way of thinking about life, we think about them as coastal. We need to address this issue of why, when all other regions of the world are fully integrated within themselves and are able to trade one with the other, that Africa's trade bounces between 9 and 12% intra-Africa. One of the key issues there is not the lack of trains and the lack of cars and trucks and all that. Even if you were to have a lot of trucks, even if you were to have world-class motorways, the challenge lies in the fact that 39 out of 54 countries in Africa are coastal countries. They're littoral states. So that is 70% of connectivity of the African nations are connected by water. If we include the inland waterways that we also have, the Lake Malawi and other lakes on the continent, they link even more countries. The failure to develop the maritime industries and shipping in particular has led to the disaggregation of the African economies. As a result, we trade more with the rest of the world. 90% of Africa's trade is with other nations, and only 10% is internally within. But if you look at the Americas, they have now moved even above the 20% where they were at. You look at developed America, if you look at Europe, for an example, 27 European states within the EU, 70% of trade is conducted among themselves, using shipping as an integrating means of moving their trade. Just looking at even how Africa trades with the rest of the world, you begin to see that there are few countries in Africa that have got large volumes of exports to share with other nations because of the underdevelopment of our trading systems, particularly shipping, as it were.